My sister said, Mom and Dad only had you by accident, in front of everyone, so I vanished for 12 years and returned as the CEO who just bought their mortgage. Pause with me for just a moment, subscribe to support this channel. And in the comments, share where you're watching from, so we can celebrate our global community. I should have known Thanksgiving 2012 would destroy me. My parents' living room in Oakland buzzed with 20 relatives, the smell of sweet potato pie mixing with expensive perfume my sister Vanessa always wore. I was 23, fresh out of nursing school, proud of my acceptance letter to Oakland Medical Center. Vanessa, 28 and golden as always, stood by the fireplace in her designer dress, announcing her engagement to Marcus Whitfield, a corporate attorney. Speech. Speech. Uncle Jerome called out. Vanessa smiled, that practiced smile she'd perfected. I'm just so grateful Mom and Dad gave me everything. The best schools, the opportunities, their unconditional love. She paused, her eyes finding mine across the room. Not everyone here can say that. My stomach dropped. Don't, I thought. Please don't. Actually, Christine, she continued, voice dripping with false concern, didn't Mom tell you? They only had you by accident. A broken condom baby at 42. She laughed, light and cruel. Dad wanted her to get rid of it, but she felt guilty. The room went silent. 20 pairs of eyes turned to me. My mother's face flushed red, but she didn't deny it. My father studied his shoes. Vanessa's smirk widened. My voice cracked. Oh, honey, don't be dramatic, Mom finally said, waving her hand dismissively. It was complicated. You wouldn't understand. Something inside me shattered. Not broke, shattered. Like glass crushed under a boot until only powder remains. I set down my untouched plate. Grabbed my coat. And walked out into the November rain without looking back. Nobody called that night. Not my mother, not my father. Definitely not Vanessa. I sat in my cramped studio apartment on Fruitvale Avenue, staring at my phone until 3 a.m., hoping someone would apologize. The silence screamed louder than Vanessa's words. Tuesday morning, I called my mother. Mom, we need to talk about what Vanessa said. Oh, Christine. Her voice carried that exhausted tone she used when I was being difficult. Why do you always make things about you? It was just a joke. You're so sensitive. A joke? She told everyone I was. An accident, yes. Which is true. Matter of fact. Clinical. We weren't planning on more children. But we made the best of it. Made the best of it. Like I was a bad financial investment they couldn't return. Did Dad really want you to? Silence stretched between us. Then, that's between your father and me. Now, Vanessa needs help addressing wedding invitations this weekend. You should come. Family supports family. I hung up. My hands shook so violently I dropped the phone twice before setting it down. Work became my refuge. I threw myself into 12-hour shifts, picking up every extra rotation. My attending physician, Dr. Chen, noticed. You're burning out, Christine. What's wrong? Just family stuff. She studied me with those sharp eyes that missed nothing. Family can be the most toxic thing in our lives. Sometimes the healthiest thing is distance. Distance. The word rattled around my brain all week. When Vanessa's wedding invitation arrived, cream cardstock, gold embossing, I opened it with trembling hands. Inside, a handwritten note, try not to embarrass us. Dress nicely for once. V. I made my decision. Leaving Oakland was easier than I expected. Dr. Chen had a friend recruiting for international nursing programs in Dubai. Within 3 weeks, I had a visa, a contract, and a one-way ticket. I took only what fit in 2 suitcases. I didn't tell them I was leaving the country. Just sent a group text to my parents and Vanessa the night before my flight. Need time to process things. Don't contact me. My mother responded within minutes, this is ridiculous. Vanessa's wedding is in 6 weeks. Vanessa, wow. Making my wedding about you. Classic Christine. Dad, your mother is very upset. Not one of them asked if I was okay. Not one apology. Just anger that I dared to disrupt their narrative. Dubai hit me like a fever dream. Gold skyscrapers piercing blue sky, heat that baked the sidewalks, money flowing like water. I worked at Sheikh Khalifa Medical Center, where the wealthy paid premium prices for premium care. I learned fast, bedside manner mattered, but so did business. 6 months in, I met Amara Okonkwo, a Nigerian investor who'd made her fortune in real estate. She came in for a minor procedure, and we talked for hours about economics, opportunity, leverage. You're wasting your brain at bedsides, she told me. You have instincts. Business instincts. I'm a nurse. You're whatever you decide to be. She handed me her card. When you're ready to be more, call me. I kept that card in my wallet for 2 years, pulling it out on hard nights, wondering if I had the courage. Back home, my phone stayed silent. Nobody fought for me. Nobody came looking. Good. I'd build something they could never take away. I called Amara on a Tuesday morning in 2015, my hands sweating despite Dubai's air conditioning. I want to learn. Everything. She laughed, rich and warm. Come to dinner tonight. Bring questions. Amara didn't just mentor me, she rebuilt me. We met twice weekly at her penthouse overlooking the Burj Khalifa, where she taught me to read financial statements, understand market psychology, recognize opportunity where others saw risk. Your family trained you to be small, she said one night, pouring Turkish coffee. Scarcity mindset. They kept you hungry so you wouldn't realize you deserved to feast. I enrolled in online business courses through Columbia, studying until 2 a.m. after 12-hour nursing shifts. Finance. Economics. Real estate law. My bank account grew steadily, Dubai paid well, and I lived cheaply, saving 70% of my income. By 2016, I'd saved $127,000. Amara introduced me to her investment circle. This is Christine Davis, she'd say. She's going to buy Oakland one day. They laughed. I didn't. I started small, a foreclosed duplex in Dubai's older district, purchased for $89,000. I renovated it myself on days off, YouTube tutorials playing on my phone. Sold it 6 months later for $134,000. The profit felt like vindication. Meanwhile, social media showed me everything. Vanessa's wedding, spectacular, expensive, my absence noted by exactly nobody. Her Instagram, luxury vacations, designer bags, her lawyer husband Marcus. My parents looked older. Smaller somehow. I felt nothing. They'd taught me I didn't matter, so I decided they didn't either. By 2018, I owned 4 properties. My nursing job became part-time. Amara promoted me to junior partner in her firm. When are you going home? She asked once. Never. Oakland has nothing for me. Oakland has unfinished business. She was right. But I wasn't ready yet. I needed to become untouchable first. The turning point came in 2019 at a property auction in London. I was 30, sitting among billionaires, bidding on a commercial building in Kensington. My heart hammered as numbers climbed. 2 million. 2.5. 3. 3.2 million, I said clearly. Silence. The gavel fell. Sold to Ms. Davis. I owned a building in London. Me. The accident baby from Oakland. That property became the cornerstone of Davis Capital Holdings, my company, my vision. I hired a team: Marcus Chen, a acquisition specialist from Singapore, Lucia Rodriguez, a former Wall Street analyst tired of corporate politics, and James Mitchell, a black contractor from Atlanta who'd built half the city. Why Oakland? Lucia asked during our strategy meeting. The market's recovering, but it's still risky. Personal reasons, I said. Oakland's undervalued. Gentrification is coming whether we like it or not. We position ourselves correctly, we ride the wave. What I didn't say, I wanted to own the city that raised me. The streets that watched me cry. The neighborhoods that knew my shame. By 2021, Davis Capital Holdings owned 43 properties across 3 continents. Revenue, $47 million annually. My personal net worth, $23 million. I looked different now. Designer clothes tailored to perfection. Hair styled by celebrity stylists. I spoke at conferences, gave TED Talks about wealth building for women of color. Magazine profiles called me Oakland's prodigal daughter, without knowing the irony. Still, my family never reached out. 9 years of silence. I searched their names sometimes, late at night when loneliness crept in. Vanessa, still married, working part-time at a nonprofit, Instagram showing a carefully curated life. My parents, retired, living in the same house on Maple Drive. Did they ever think about me? Wonder if I was alive. Probably not. Everything changed when James walked into my San Francisco office in March 2024 with a folder marked Oakland Residential Portfolio, Foreclosure Opportunities. Boss, you need to see page 17. I flipped through property listings, foreclosure notices, debt analysis. Then I saw it: 4782 Maple Drive, Oakland, California. Current owners, Robert and Patricia Davis. Outstanding mortgage, $340,000. Behind on payments, 14 months. Foreclosure proceedings, initiated. My parents' house. Christine. James's voice seemed distant. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I'm fine. My voice sounded mechanical. Tell me everything. The story unfolded like a tragedy I should have predicted. My father's pension had been mismanaged, something about the city's bankruptcy filing in 2013. My mother's rheumatoid arthritis had forced early retirement. They'd refinanced twice, trying to stay afloat. Vanessa had borrowed money from them, $80,000 for Marcus's failed law firm expansion. Never paid it back. Now Wells Fargo owned their debt, and my company, through a subsidiary, could buy it. It's a solid property, James continued, oblivious to my internal earthquake. Good bones, decent neighborhood. We could flip it or rent it. Your call. I stared at that address until the numbers blurred. The house where I'd learned to ride a bike. Where Vanessa got the bigger bedroom. Where they'd celebrated her achievements and tolerated my existence. The house they might lose. Part of me, the small, hurt part I'd tried to kill, wanted to save them. To be the bigger person. But the part of me they'd created, the part forged in abandonment and silence, wanted something else entirely. Buy it, I said. Buy the mortgage. All of it. James grinned. Great investment. No. It was vengeance. The transaction took 6 weeks. My lawyers, a team of 5 from Morrison and Forster, handled everything quietly. I purchased the mortgage through a shell corporation, Davis Capital Holdings kept invisible. My parents would receive a simple notice: their debt had been sold to a new lender. They'll have 90 days to negotiate, my lead attorney, Susan Park, explained. Standard procedure. We'll offer refinancing options, but given their financial situation. She trailed off delicately. They won't qualify. Correct. After 90 days, we can proceed with foreclosure and eviction. The words should have felt hollow. Instead, they felt like power. I flew to Oakland in May 2024, checking into the Four Seasons under my company name. The city had changed, new restaurants, tech buses clogging streets, boutiques where corner stores used to be. But Maple Drive looked the same. I parked across the street from 4782, watching through tinted windows. The house looked tired. Paint peeling on the shutters. Garden overgrown. My mother's prized roses strangled by weeds. The front door opened. My father emerged, grayer, thinner, shoulders bent. He walked to the mailbox, pulled out envelopes, and his whole body sagged. Even from 50 feet away, I recognized defeat. My phone buzzed. Lucia, Vanessa Davis Whitfield just posted on Instagram. She's at Napa Valley Wine Train. Looks expensive. Of course she was. While our parents drowned, Golden Vanessa sipped Chardonnay. That night, I had Susan send the official notice. This is to inform you that your mortgage has been acquired by Oakland Property Solutions, LLC. Please contact our office to discuss payment arrangements. I imagined my mother opening that letter. The confusion. The fear. Good. Let them feel what I felt at 23, publicly humiliated and abandoned. But something nagged at me. A small voice asking, "Is this who you want to be?" I silenced it. They'd made their choice 12 years ago. Now I was making mine. 3 weeks after the notice, Susan called. Robert Davis requested a meeting. He wants to discuss refinancing options. My heart rate spiked. Set it up. Friday, 2 p.m., our Oakland office. You're meeting with them personally? Yes. I spent that week preparing like a general planning battle. I reviewed their entire financial history, every late payment, every loan, every debt. I studied family photos on Vanessa's Instagram, analyzing 12 years of life I'd missed. Birthdays. Anniversaries. Holidays. My absence airbrushed from their narrative. Friday arrived cold and gray. I dressed in a Tom Ford suit, charcoal, perfectly tailored, $4,200. Louboutin heels. Hair in a sleek low bun. Diamond studs Amara had given me for my 32nd birthday. I looked like money. Like power. I looked like someone they wouldn't recognize. Susan briefed me in the conference room. Go easy on them, Christine. They're elderly, broke, and scared. Noted. At 1:58 p.m., the receptionist called. Mr. and Mrs. Davis are here. Send them in. The door opened. My parents entered, and time folded in on itself. My mother, once tall and proud, looked shrunken, her hands twisted from arthritis. My father's suit hung loose on his frame. They looked like people who'd lost everything. They looked how I'd felt at 23. Thank you for seeing us, my father said to Susan. We're hoping to explain our situation. We've lived in that house 40 years. Raised our daughters there. We just need time to. Mr. and Mrs. Davis, I said, standing. I'll handle this meeting. My mother's eyes widened. My father's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Christine. Mom whispered. Oh my God. Christine. I smiled. Cold. Professional. Hello, Mom. Dad. It's been a while. The conference room froze. My mother gripped the table like it might vanish. My father's face cycled through shock, confusion, and something that might have been shame. I don't understand, Mom stammered. You own the mortgage company. You're the one foreclosing on us. Not personally. My company, Davis Capital Holdings, purchased your debt from Wells Fargo. I'm the CEO. I gestured to the chairs. Please, sit. Let's discuss your financial situation. They sat like children called to the principal's office. Susan excused herself quietly, leaving us alone. 12 years, my father finally said. 12 years without a word. We didn't know if you were alive. You didn't try very hard to find out. I opened their financial folder. Let's review the facts. You're 14 months behind on payments. You owe $340,000 on a house worth maybe $520,000. Your retirement income is $3,100 monthly, with expenses around $4,200. The math doesn't work. We've had difficulties, my mother said, her voice thin. Your father's pension was mismanaged. I know. I also know you loaned Vanessa $80,000 in 2019 that she never repaid. I looked up. How is my sister, by the way? Still taking luxury vacations? Mom's face crumpled. This isn't about Vanessa. Everything's always been about Vanessa. The words tasted like acid. Where is she, by the way? Not here to help negotiate. Too busy to save the house she grew up in. She doesn't know we're here, Dad admitted. We didn't want to worry her. She's going through a divorce, and... Stop. I held up my hand. Stop protecting her. She took $80,000 from you and disappeared when you needed it back. But sure, let's not worry her. What do you want, Christine? My mother's voice broke. You want us to apologize for what Vanessa said at Thanksgiving? Fine. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Is that enough? Sorry. The word escaped like a laugh. Mom, you didn't say it. Vanessa did. And you stood there, both of you, and didn't deny a single word. You let her tell everyone I was an accident you wanted to abort, and you said nothing. We were shocked, my father protested. We didn't know how to. You had 12 years to figure it out. 12 years to pick up a phone. Send an email. Hire a private investigator. But you didn't, because you were relieved I was gone. I leaned forward. Admit it. I was the burden you never wanted. My mother's tears fell freely now. That's not true. We love you. You're our daughter. I was your mistake. Your broken condom baby. Remember? I pulled out my phone, found the text screenshots I'd saved. After I left, you texted me once. Mom, this is ridiculous. Vanessa's wedding is in 6 weeks. Not, are you okay? Not, let's talk. Just anger that I inconvenienced you. The texts hung between us like evidence at trial. We didn't know what to say, Dad whispered. You cut us off completely. I sent one text asking for space. You gave me 12 years of silence. Those aren't the same thing. I closed the folder. Here's what's going to happen. You have 2 options. Option 1, you refinance with another lender. Given your credit score, 584, and your debt-to-income ratio, that's impossible. Option 2, you sell the house, pay off the mortgage, and keep whatever equity remains. Where would we go? Mom's voice was barely audible. That's not my concern. You have 67 days before I proceed with foreclosure. I stood. This meeting is concluded. Christine, please. My father stood too, reaching toward me. We made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. But we're your parents. Doesn't that mean anything? I looked at his outstretched hand. At my mother's devastated face. At the people who created me and then made me wish I'd never been born. You taught me family is conditional, I said. I'm just applying the lesson. I was in my hotel room that night, second-guessing everything, when my phone exploded with texts. Vanessa, how dare you? Vanessa, Mom just called me crying. You're trying to take their house. Vanessa, after everything they did for you, this is how you repay them. I stared at the messages, fury rising like lava. Then I did something petty. I screenshot them and posted them to the private Instagram account I'd created to document this journey. Caption: After 12 years of silence, this is how she reaches out. 20 minutes later, someone knocked on my hotel door. Hard. Aggressive. I checked the peephole. Vanessa stood there, dressed in activewear that probably cost $400, fury radiating from every pore. I opened the door. Hello, Vanessa. You vindictive bitch. She pushed past me into the room. I don't know what game you're playing, but it ends now. She looked the same, beautiful, polished, entitled. But stress had carved lines around her eyes. Her wedding ring was gone. No game. Just business. I closed the door. How's Marcus, by the way? Oh wait, divorcing you, right? Something about infidelity. Her face flushed. You don't know anything about my life. I know you borrowed $80,000 from our broke parents and never paid them back. I know you're getting divorced because you slept with Marcus's law partner. I know you've been bleeding Mom and Dad dry for years while playing the perfect daughter on Instagram. I smiled. I know everything, Vanessa. I've been watching. That's psychotic. That's preparation. I sat on the sofa, relaxed. Why are you here? To guilt me? To remind me family sticks together? That's rich coming from you. What do you want? Her voice shook. Money? An apology? What will it take for you to leave them alone? I said carefully, what you took from me 12 years ago. My dignity. My peace. My family. I made one comment. One stupid comment at a party. No. I stood now, stepping close. You destroyed me. And they let you. Vanessa's composure shattered. You think you're so perfect. So victimized. You left, Christine. You abandoned all of us. Mom cried for months. Dad kept calling your number even though it was disconnected. And me, her voice cracked. I lost my sister. You never had a sister. You had a punching bag. That's not fair. Yes, I was jealous. Yes, I was cruel sometimes. But I was 28 and scared Marcus would leave me, and Mom kept comparing us, saying you were so smart, so accomplished, and I felt like I had to tear you down to feel big. The words tumbled out like a confession. I'm sorry. I've been sorry for 12 years, but you never gave me a chance to say it. I studied her. The perfect sister, cracking. You know what the worst part was? Not what you said. It was that nobody defended me. Not one person in that room told you to stop. They just watched me break and then went back to eating pie. I know. She wiped her eyes. I know, and I hate myself for it. But Christine, they're losing everything. Dad's pension is gone. Mom's medical bills are drowning them. And she laughed bitterly. I've got nothing. Marcus took everything in the divorce filing. I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment in Hayward working as a receptionist. For the first time, I saw her. Not the golden child, but a woman who'd built her identity on being better than me, only to discover she'd built on sand. The $80,000? I asked. Gone. Marcus's firm went under. We lost it all. She collapsed onto the sofa. I'm broke, Christine. Broker than broke. And I can't help them. But you can. Why should I? Because you're better than me. You always were. You built yourself into something incredible while I just existed in the space they gave me. She looked up. Please. I'm begging. I'll do anything. Just don't take their home. I felt something shift. Not forgiveness, I wasn't there yet. But understanding. We'd both been casualties of our parents' favoritism, just in different ways. Tell me everything, I said. The truth. All of it. 3 months later, I stood in my parents' living room on Maple Drive, watching contractors repair the roof. The foreclosure was cancelled. Instead, I'd restructured everything. My parents kept the house, under a new agreement. The mortgage was paid off completely. In exchange, they signed over 50% ownership to me. They could live there rent-free for life, but when they passed, I'd inherit my half. The other half would go to Vanessa. Why? My mother had asked when I presented the terms. After everything, why save us? Because I'm not like you, I said simply. I don't abandon family when things get hard. But there were conditions. Vanessa moved into the house to help care for them. She found work at Davis Capital Holdings, entry-level, administration, earning her way. No handouts. No shortcuts. We had family dinners now. Awkward at first, then gradually easier. My father apologized formally, reading from a letter he'd written. My mother went to therapy to process her own childhood trauma that made her such a cold parent. Vanessa and I met for coffee weekly. Rebuilding trust was slow, painful work. Some days I still wanted to scream at her. But I was learning that healing isn't linear. Thank you, she said one morning, hands wrapped around her mug. For giving me a chance to be better. Thank me by being better, I replied. Actually show up. Do the work. 6 months after returning, I gave a TED Talk in Oakland. The title, The Long Way Home, Building Success from Rejection. I told them everything. The accident comment. The abandonment. The silent years. Building my empire not despite the pain, but because of it. They taught me I was worthless, I concluded. So I became invaluable. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove myself right. I was never the accident. I was always the purpose. The standing ovation lasted 3 minutes. Afterward, my parents approached. They looked smaller, older, but present. Actually present. We're proud of you, Dad said quietly. I looked at them, these imperfect people who'd hurt me, who I'd hurt back, who we were all trying to heal with. I know, I said. Finally. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. Some wounds never fully close. But it was real. It was honest. And it was enough. That night, I posted one final message to the Instagram account that had documented this journey: revenge is easy. Reconciliation is brave. I chose brave. The comments flooded in. Thousands of people sharing their own stories of family betrayal, of leaving, of deciding whether to return. I'd set out to destroy them. Instead, I'd freed us all. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's becoming so undeniably successful that they have to reckon with what they lost when they pushed you away. And then, if you're strong enough, you offer them a chance to find what they lost. Not because they deserve it. Because you do.